You know what's better than playing the game and just getting skins and camos and unlockable stuff as you play? Paying for everything. Obviously, I'm joking, but we gotta talk about how the map pack system in Call of Duty was way better than the seasons system. There'll still be some people that like to argue because they want to defend the clearly worse system for some reason. I don't know why you would want to do that, but you know, to each their own. But let me start off with the most legitimately concerning reason. I think everybody can agree that back in the day when you were like gambling to get your like skins and shit, even though you had to gamble for it, basically it was at least guaranteed almost that you would get something new, like for playing. Like every time you play, you earn something new as you go along. But with the system they got now, you don't really earn shit when it comes to like cosmetics and all that, unless you're like paying for the battle pass basically. But people have gotten way too comfortable with paying more than they should for stuff they would have got cheaper, and it's become a very what the fuck, it's become a very tragic thing. Like, I know you're not supposed to gamble. Call of Duties are pretty much mostly a game dominated by kids, but at the same time, at least you know you're actually getting something. What would you rather have? You promoting your kids to gamble and shit, or you just straight up scamming the fuck out of them? Like, what's better when we really think about it? Like, I would rather be forced to gamble on something than just straight up fucking scammed and overcharged for just basic shit that won't even last more than a year at the very best. Like, maybe you get half a year because some people are still on the game. But even at that, it's just so not worth it, especially for the prices they have these days. Like, it's actually crazy. It's insane to see people actually fall for this trap. They actually fall into this. I've seen some people just convinced that the more they spend in the game, like the better they will be, or the better luck they'll have, or just something. I don't know. People just tell themselves lies to think that it's worth it. It's probably the least worth it thing you could probably ever do. It's almost undeniable as well that they pretty much put in a lot more effort back in the old system. Like whenever they're having like a new update, new map pack, new season, they put in a lot more effort than with seasons. Like that is like almost guaranteed unless you're blind. Like you can see there's like less and less content as the years go on, and it's like not only that, but it's like arguably better stuff too that we used to get. You could actually have really cool shit now. Like I feel like we get a lot more underwhelming stuff than we used to get. I know you guys remember when Zombies, right? There was a DLC for the game and they actually gave you a whole new like wonder weapon in Zombies for getting that like specific map pack, and that's the cool stuff that I'm talking about. They don't really do that kind of stuff anymore. They play it safe. They kind of drip feed us content, and it's just not enough. I'm not gonna lie. Like, call me greedy, call me a fat greedy pig bastard, but that's just how I honestly feel. It is just not nearly as worth it, especially for the amount people are paying these days. Like, honestly, if you know somebody that gets the Black Cell bundle every month and gets the fucking, what is it now, an $80 fucking fisting machine, you need to tell that friend that they're wasting their goddamn money and they need to chill the fuck out and actually stop. Is it really worth it? Like, there's so many things you could do with that money that are way more valuable and more worth it than the fucking monkey butt fisting machine and the fucking Black Cell bundle. It's just not very financially reasonable to keep giving this billion-dollar company money for shit that's just not even worth it, not even close to being worth it. Another reason why I genuinely believe the old map pack system was better than the one we have now. I'm sure a lot of you guys know when back in the day when you got a skin for a gun, that skin you could have on like every single gun. You could get pretty good skins for every gun decently cheap, and that is something nobody would ever be able to say these days. Like, that is just not how they run things now. And you know, it's not like they can't make skins apply to every gun and they can't do stuff like that. It's just that it's a pattern. It's a pattern now. We have easily gotten way more content in the map pack era than we ever did in the reboot era. I'm talking reboot era as in since Modern Warfare 2019 to now. and before that was the pre-reboot era. I would call that like the I'll call that the map pack slash season pass era, or something like that. But my main point is, if you release a skin that can apply to pretty much every single gun that isn't like a mastery skin or anything like that, there's no incentive to do that, because why would you sell a skin that can be applied to every gun when you could sell separate skins that can be charged multiple times for different guns with essentially the same shit? Like, it's basically just a money farming machine at that point, you know? What's even funnier is that a lot of people don't even notice that they can't even do that without being scummy about it. You know how many skins that we used to have that they've pretty much just repackaged and resold? I'm not even talking about far away distant CODs that we haven't played in a long time. I mean, like, literally they will reskin like a mastery camo for a couple years and then sell it to you for like 20 bucks. Like, it's so unbelievably fucked, and they get away with that shit too. Nobody's gonna say anything about it, nobody's gonna do shit about it. That's just the way it is. Unfortunately, it's pretty much how the community's made it to be. As much as it is Activision's fault and like the corporations and everything like that, it is also kind of the community's fault in a way. By buying shit like this, we've pretty much helped them to create a kind of state of gaming right now that I like to call payers over players. Before, back when games were actually good and like reasonable and didn't fucking milk all the cash out of your wallet and leave it dry and empty and dusty, they actually valued how many people were playing and enjoying their game. Now, I frankly don't think they could give less of a fuck about player counts, because player counts definitely do not equate to payer counts. There are a lot of like average casual players. Ooh, nice all-pro. I fucked it. There are a lot of casual players that do also pay stuff in the game, and if there's a large percentage of the player base that is payers, pretty much all they need to give a fuck about is them. They won't give a fuck about the minority and the rest of the people who just refuse to just empty their wallet into the big corporations' bank accounts. Like, they don't care about us. As long as there's enough payers, they will never ever care about players. That is just how it is. And that is probably how it's going to be for the foreseeable future. Like, I don't know if I see this changing. I feel like it never will, because everything that they've done these days pretty much shows exactly why they prefer payers to players. Another thing that really isn't a huge deal, but still kind of pisses me off anyway, is that, remember when all the like really cool camos used to be locked behind like hard challenges and progression and all that? Those days are mostly gone. Yes, there are still good camos like behind like challenges and progressions and stuff, but it's just like, arguably the camos that you get from mastering weapons and stuff like that and doing all that, it's just, they're arguably worse than stuff you would get from just buying that shit with a bundle. Like, literally, you could not even attempt to do that, and you could just buy a bundle and you'll pretty much have more or less the same experience. Not exactly, because your bundle camos you can't typically put on every single gun because it's like Mastercraft, but I still think it's pretty dumb how the best camos are the ones you pay for, not the ones you play for. There it is again. See, I told you, everything they do these days, it's just showing what their preference is. It's showing what they really actually value. I feel like one more point I want to make about why map packs and supply drops are better than seasons and bundles is, this reason is probably on the simpler side, but I still think it's like valid. Like, it does hold a little bit of water, I feel like. And that is the point that there is nothing fun about just swiping your credit card. Like, it's way more fun. Like, sometimes it's not. Like, if you're a hard rager like your boy, then sometimes, yes, it can be very not fun. But I feel like even that little aspect of gambling is a lot more fun than just swiping your card. It's a pretty simple reason. It doesn't really matter that much, but I feel like it's worth mentioning anyway. I guess that's just gonna be a quick little rant about why I dislike the seasons and the bundles and all that. Like, it just seems really like money hungry and shitty to me. I don't know. I hope y'all agree. Let me know in the comments if I missed any important things that I should have considered, or yeah, just comment, leave a like, subscribe if you want, and yeah, let me know what's what in the comments, and yeah, I hope you have a good day. See ya.